And for those of you who came tonight, let's stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, public participation. Nobody in this huge crowd? No? Okay. Approval of minutes. Non-public session from July 5th.
So moved.
So moved by Mrs. Moran. Second by Mr. Frieda. Any discussion on these errors and omissions? We good? Hearing none, I'll call for a vote. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? July 11th, non-public session 1.
So moved.
So moved by Mr. Petrie.
Second.
Second by Mrs. Moran. Any discussion on these? Everything all set? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Non-public session 2 from July 11th. Oh. Are those? Okay. Sorry.
So moved.
Non-public session 2 from July 11th. So moved by Mrs. Moran. Second by Mr. Frieda. Any discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for a vote. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Okay. July 11th, non-public session 3.
So moved.
What do we have? 3C.
Yeah, these were the wrong ones. I was trying to figure these out as I was looking through the package, and I'm like, these aren't the ones that are supposed to be in here.
So these are the ones we already approved?
Yeah.
It was 4, 5, and 6, or 5 and 6 that we,
4, 5, and 6, I know were,
for the 18th.
yeah.
So then
No,
four-
for the 11th,
for the
Right, but they were
11th.
approved on the 18th.
yes.
Yes.
Okay. So all of these minutes have.
But what Mrs. Moran's pointing out is what we're now referring to as 1, 2, and 3 were 4, 5, and 6 that were already approved, that we're referring to on the agenda.
But it doesn't say public session 2, though. Because remember, we renamed public session 2, so it would have been public session 2.
I know I went through and changed and added 4, 5, 6 to all the ones that I did that were supposed to be 1, 2, and 3.
Table those and we've already approved them, so we
Right.
can
Yeah.
skip ahead.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll skip ahead to
July 18th.
July 18th, public session.
So moved.
So moved by Mr. Petrie. I'll second it. Any
Yes.
discussion, Mr. Petrie?
Let me find it. All right, I made a comment. Noted that he, matter of fact, his third paragraph. Mr. Petrie noted that he had been in contact with former students, that should be former students at other schools, or something to that effect.
What page is this?
It's page 1.
Okay. Of the public session?
No, that's non-public, but that's, no, okay, I stand corrected. That should have been, that's 5th. I'm only behind a bit.
Anything on
I
the,
retract.
okay, anything on the public minutes? Okay, hearing none, I'll call for a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay. All right. So we should be on non-public session 1 for July 18th.
So moved.
So moved by Mrs. Moran. Second by Mr. Frieda. Any discussion on these?
No.
Straightforward. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Non-public session 2 from July 18th.
So moved.
Motion by Mrs. Moran. I'll second it. Any discussion? All set there? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay. Non-public session 3 from July 18th.
So moved.
So moved by Mrs. Moran, second by Mr. Frieda. Any discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
I think what's throwing me off is the little 3 I's and 3 H's up in the corner. I'm not sure why we have all those.
Do you put something on the top of them to say that you've scanned them or something?
Yeah, that's the index for the cover sheet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
We don't get it.
Aha.
Okay.
Yes.
So that way, this is your table of contents, and then.
Oh, okay. 3I,
All right.
yeah.
Thank you.
Makes sense. Thank you.
All right, a motion for non-public session 4, July 18th. So moved by Mr. Frieda,
Second.
second by Mr. Petrie. Any discussion on these? Hearing none, I'll call for a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
I'd like to revisit minutes of July 5th, non-public session 1.
Okay.
Seems I had, there was 2 things. There was that paragraph that I was trying to,
Okay, so this is back to the one, you did find something on page 1.
right, that it's former students at wherever, let me see, Northwood and I believe Barrington of Ms. Peabody's.
Okay.
You know, just to clarify, it wasn't students from this
District.
district.
So the first paragraph after the paragraph that the motion's in.
Correct.
Okay, you got that, Kelly?
Yeah.
Okay, and
Northwood or Barrington?
Northwood and Barrington, yeah,
Both.
because I did run into students from both. And whenever we use like SES, when they see these, I think the first, it should be spelled out, and then SES, and then from then on you can.
Right.
Okay. Why don't we vote on those then, since we made a change? All in favor of that change? Aye? Okay. All right. New business. Financial status for end of fiscal year.
That was exciting.
You
Did you see
included in your
that?
packet a
see
copy of
that?
the memorandum that I provided to the Budget Committee last Wednesday about closing out the school district financial report. And I can just kind of walk through some of the paragraphs and some of the highlights of this. Essentially closing out the books for June 30th, 2016, after we've looked at all of our invoices, as well as covering any shortfall for any revenue and year-end journal entries. Where we're at right now is to be returning to the town $344,796. That still does take into consideration the warrant article number 7 for $50,000 from your unassigned fund balance, and the adjustment of the 2.5% on the district assessment.
I have a question on that now.
Yes.
That's the difference. We did that last year also. Is that because it's cumulative?
That's
In other words,
correct. So you'd either
whatever-
adjust up or down so that you have that earmarked as your unassigned fund balance. I was trying to get onto I can't get onto my Excel worksheet to get the details, to talk with you about the details of it. I can't get on the server.
Still?
No. I have no access to.
But it should have went down this year, right?
It's based
the 2.5.
upon the district assessment, not the budget. So, let me see, I think last year's figure was approximately $132,000. And so we've made that adjustment. It's taken that into consideration.
So that's the 2.5%.
That's the
That represents the
2.5%,
2.5%.
and that's for strictly catastrophic purposes. That's if you had a unanticipated out-of-district placement, strictly catastrophic in that if you ever needed to use those funds, you'd have to go before not only Department of Education, but to Department of Revenue. Essentially, it's the district's security blanket, really. Paragraph 2 talks about some of the items that, between the administration and the facilities department, that we were able to address. Some areas of security cameras in 2 of the buildings. We did do some painting, long overdue painting in a cafeteria, kitchen areas. Some of those areas just had not seen any kind of fresh paint, and we're prepping for Chartwells to come in, so we're really looking to try and make it a bit more appetite-friendly for our pupils. Also, we purchased some cafeteria tables, at the lowest price, quote price, for the high school. Also are doing some electrical work for some overhead projectors at Valley View School. So these are a couple of the things that we were able to accomplish at year end.
Oh, while you're in the kitchens, there was something about melamine in the manifests. What was that? Was that some more of a storage area?
I guess I would have to see the exact. Melamine is probably like a kitchenware. We didn't purchase anything, so I guess I would have to look specifically at that. I think we only had one invoice that we had to clear out for food service, and that really is not for purchasing any kitchenwares.
Yeah, something storage. No.
Okay. That may be facilities related. I don't think it's kitchen related.
Oh, there it is here. Storage, WH easel melamine, $157.97.
Okay, and is that probably federal funds, Fund 20?
That is a 20 account.
Okay,
I'm sorry, a 10 account.
A 10 account, okay, so it sounds like it is,
You want to see it?
something
It might
for,
be.
right. There are presentation materials that have to be purchased. It just may be something that's described that way as being a sturdier piece of just looking to see black paint, interior safety design. I'm sorry, I'm looking for this. All of these are pretty straightforward.
It's like on the second page, I think. Was it
Yeah,
second
it
page?
was, I'm sorry, I should have
Painting, kitchen,
sheeted it or
painting.
something.
We can come back to it, too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
Did you have other highlights from your report?
Yes, and then on to revenue, that as of June 30th, all of the Middleton School District tuitions had been billed out, and a check had been collected and cut as of June 30th and deposited. So everything that is due from the Middleton School District has been received by Farmington. If you've got other questions?
That, turning back that amount, it was about, what, 75, 78 cents on the tax rate reduction?
Let me
I think I
see
did the math.
here.
78 cents.
For just about, yes, it would be just about a quarter for every, right, for every 100,000.
Good.
Any other questions for Lori?
Oh, okay, all right.
Get it now?
It looks to me like it's an easel on wheels that has storage for classroom use. but
Right.
I would need to go back and see the
Right.
PO on it, but
Yeah, it
that's
just,
the, coming
Oh,
from
so it's kind of like the
sometimes.
whiteboard.
whiteboard or maybe an arts type of.
It's not a big
Right,
deal.
so if you're doing a class on a cart, You need to be able to have those kinds of resources, but, unless there's other questions about the memo.
Anything else? Okay.
Nice job, Lori.
Yeah, thank you.
So just recapping for those of you at home, $344,796.83, which represents about
8 cents.
78 cents. The tax rate will be turned back to the town. Okay, thank you. Transportation routes. We have our bus coordinator here. Did we have a presentation or just we have to approve it?
I was giving Bonnie an opportunity to be able to talk about bus routes for next year, just so that parents are prepared. Things will be going out in the mailings, and we'd
really
like to
it's
take the podium for a couple minutes. And
It's a presentation. The bus routes don't really have to be approved by
No.
the board. That goes
Yeah.
through me,
Okay.
but it's general information.
And what year are you starting on, Bonnie? What year is this for you?
This will go going on to my 29th year. So as all of you know, as far as the bus routes go, I start the bus routes out in August, exactly the way we ended in June. And the reason is because one year I made some changes. We had added on a new driver, and it was, all kinds of new changes, and people never bothered to look. I post them at the schools, I put it in the paper. I don't think we were doing the puddle dog back then, but I had it out there. The free paper was out there at the time, the Times, and it was a disaster the first week of school because parents were calling, "Where's the bus? Where's the bus? Didn't you read the bus routes?" No. The bus always came at this, so I never did that again. So what I do is I start exactly what they're remembering in June, and then from there, if I need to make any changes, like if one route gets overcrowded or whatever, then I do up letters to the parents, the children send them, take them home and give them to their parents, and we give them like a week to say, we're gonna make a change. So, I brought them if you'd like to see them. I will send them to you, Stan, so you can put them in the, in your paper. And I will get them in the Fosters, and I will post them at every school. I put them in every building I can. We put them up out on walls. I even put one last year down at the town hall in their little thing. So, anyway, so they're exactly the same.
So they're just the same as they ended. Any questions for Bonnie?
I know at one point, people were upset that we were putting it in the paper because it just kind of showed everybody where the kids were going to be standing, but clearly there's going to be...
I don't do that anymore.
You don't put it...
The way I do it is like, for example, I put left onto Horntown Road, after the 10-Rod Road, right onto Meterboro Road,
Okay.
turn around. I do not put stops anymore.
Okay.
I don't even put times, because to me, that's like, that's an open invitation. You
Right.
tell them exactly what time the bus, yes, it's nice for the parents, but if they have a question, they can call me because we haven't changed anything.
Right.
Right.
So,
Thank you.
and I've already gotten some calls from new parents, so, anyway. Did you want to talk about the other thing with the 2 buses? Or is that
We didn't
something-
actually put it on the agenda, but you do have a bus that you're going to have to declare surplus.
2.
Okay.
2 buses.
So we'll have to be coming back to you for an official declaration of surplus at your next meeting. But if you want to chat a little bit about it, and then we can do it
Right.
formally.
Okay, well, one of them is a 35-passenger wheelchair bus, and it's a 2001, and unfortunately, it's rusted out. It has over 200,000 miles. It's not the engine that's going. It still starts up every day, and we used it for golf. We used it for little field trips. It was great, but it just did not pass inspection. And the same thing with one of my big buses. It was a 2000, so it's 16 years old, and they were going to try to weld the frame, but I got a call from DePrizio. It was just too far. It was going to cost way too much money, and it wasn't worth what the bus was worth. So they said, we're not going to, it's stupid to do the work. So I brought it back down and parked it in front of the tennis courts. So, and that's the only reason why. It's not the engines. Both those buses still run. They start up every day. We keep starting them, and they've rusted out.
And we have enough buses for transportation. Will it leave us without a spare?
I have one spare bus.
Okay.
And then when the new bus comes in, which I talked to them today, that's going to be coming probably about the end of September. And when that one comes, the other bus that I used to, the other 48 passenger bus, I'm gonna save that for a spare, because that's, again, perfect for maybe a junior high game or a small team going somewhere, and if we just keep it as a spare and not on the road every single day.
Yeah.
So we'll actually have 1.5 spare buses.
How many less kids are we carrying, say, compared to 5 years ago?
Really, maybe, oh, okay. To be honest with you, it's probably about, I would say, a busload, because we did 2 years ago add in a bus route, add in a new bus and a bus driver. And last year, when we had to make a cut, I cut one of the routes because the transportation, the ridership had gone down. So, and that's the way it is. It's been that way now for 2 years.
In other words, we're decreasing quite a bit.
Well,
How many kids roughly do you carry?
Well, every bus route is different. To be honest with you, the bus routes that are the closest to the school, like over by where you live, are jam-packed. Because you have the trailer parks and you have, it's the ones that are out in the country that are decreasing.
Yeah.
So,
Population's going out, yeah.
right.
And it also fluctuates according to sports seasons and what's happening
Right.
extracurricularly as well, so.
The first couple of weeks of school,
Winters,
we have
ridership.
every child that's gonna possibly ride a bus. And then FAMI opens up, the rec opens up, sports have now started, students are staying after school, then maybe Valley View will open up an after-school program, and the ridership starts going down and down and down, and then, but it makes it comfortable for us, because now we're not at that capacity where we're just all, crammed. But that's why and the other thing too is the daycare, I'm gonna have to find out I don't think we'll be transporting to the Farmington daycare this year, because all we were doing last year was seven kindergartners, and now that kindergartners all day, but we've had other daycare centers open up. So that's what hurts me in the beginning of the year, because I never know who's gonna open up a daycare.
right.
But we've always worked it out, and that's why I give it the first month of school, and then that's when I start making my changes. If somebody's too overcrowded here, then I'll take from some students from there and put them on another bus, and it all works out.
Anything else for Bonnie?
No.
Thank you, Bonnie.
You're welcome.
Old business.
Can we stick with new business?
Oh, new business.
The selectmen mentioned an MOU for the school district at one of their last meetings. Have we gotten a copy of that at the SAU level?
I've not seen it.
Referenced in the minutes that they would give it to me, but I haven't seen anything either.
Okay, yeah, this was 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, this is in regards to
Facilities use.
facilities use and events.
Mm.
Okay, nothing yet.
Um,
Guess we'll wait and see about it.
I had one more new one.
Yeah.
Our calendar on the website still reflects Farmington Middleton School District on the calendar itself.
Yes, I'll send something to talk with our IT department again.
Any other new business? Old business?
Red schoolhouse variance, have we looked into that at all? That was mentioned at the last meeting that they received a variance for the fence.
It's actually, it's on the list.
Okay.
It's on the to-do list, not to be forgotten, but yes, as far as a follow-up, yeah.
I didn't hear exactly.
Variance?
The variance, they said, we were told.
Right, we'd like to have the documentation.
Right.
Yeah.
Right,
if-
yeah.
Right, remember we talked about that last one.
Matter of fact, I know about variances, and I haven't seen a variance on that property yet. And it would come through me as a zoning board member.
Good to know. That may save us some research, thank you.
My last one was the SAU space. We've kind of been putting that off as to what we're gonna do. So I just wanna make sure that that just keeps getting put on the agenda, so we're not dropping the ball because our lease is up in June.
Okay. So, at this point, I'm still in process of trying to talk to staff.
Yeah.
And see what's where and what our needs are. And I know that there has been some space needs discussion, and would love to sit down with folks who have been part of that to
Okay.
continue that. It's not been first on the radar for today, but I'm only 12 hours in, so.
Yes.
Yeah, you should have had this all done by 10.
I know, I'm so sorry.
Thank you.
How was your first day?
It was good.
Yeah.
It was good.
Good.
Thank you.
We received, Art Boosters received 200 and, how many dollars from?
204.
204 for the selling of that bus that Mr. Henry bought from us and then scrapped and donated to the Art Boosters. So I want to publicly thank Mr. Henry for, that was a creative way of making some money for one of our boosters. So thank you, Steve.
You said 204?
I thought it was 219. I don't know why that number's in my head.
I don't know.
It was a weird number.
Find that.
It was more than 200.
It was.
We had an email on it, but I thought it was a little over
Did.
Look how far back the email was.
You
a week
did.
or so ago.
Okay.
Not that far.
That one. Yeah, I didn't get it.
Oh, I got an email, didn't I?
You did. I gave
Just
you an
me?
update, and
Oh.
Yeah,
so I
you
was
did.
just,
Oh, I thought you all got it, I'm sorry.
That's all right.
Yeah.
That's all right. Well, when you find it, you can throw the number up for Kelly's purposes, but it was over $200, so we thank Steve for that. Okay, any other old business? Public participation?
Again.
I just wanted to say, did anybody notice the new sign today?
Oh,
Yeah.
Putting it up.
yeah, Bonnie just mentioned the new sign in front of the SAU. I did notice it. And I'll tell you, despite the fact that we replaced it because it said Middleton and we're now one district, it probably needed to go anyway because the old one's on the back steps of the SAU and it's in rough shape. It's actually in two pieces.
It
Yeah.
had fallen apart.
Yeah, it was
before.
bad.
Yeah. It was
But
time.
no, it's very nice. If you get a chance
Yeah,
to see it,
I
you might
have
want
it
to
now.
see
I'll
it.
have to go
It came out
take a
very,
look.
very nice. So, anything else? All right, I'll entertain a motion to go into non-public.
So moved.
Under 91A:3, 2, A, B, and C personnel. Do I have a second? Second by Mr. Frieda. All those in favor by roll. Mr. Frieda? Mr. Petrie? Mrs. Moran?
Yep.
And I'm a yes. Thank you, folks. Thanks for tuning in. Our next meeting will be August 15th.